only to you guys, and then the whole board votes for it.
Preservation and other things that we used to do.
But I can print it.
So we can get some.
I think last time we used to do this in a workshop.
So,
Yeah.
it's that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we used to do
Stuff.
Right, well,
I'll print it right now.
right. But if they disagree, it really doesn't matter. If you and me,
Are you
right.
gonna hand it down?
Exactly. So besides all
So they,
Well, I think you sort of gave him an update
that, all
last
that,
I,
and thousands and
and I think you might have actually said
thousands,
something.
because I
I
was.
gave him something, but
Yeah.
one of them wasn't here.
So,
So he's up to press with it, I don't know. So I can
I got,
give
I
him
got.
one of these copies to Phillips right now.
Yeah, I'll print it right
And I
now.
got it cleaned out to the one full.
Oh, 6:30.
I said, I mentioned that we might want to go in executive session, so by that time I can have it printed, if you'd like,
To go in executive session to sign it?
just to tell them.
Is Al not gonna be here?
No.
No, he's working.
But it only takes me a second to print.
Hi, folks.
All right.
Okay, so.
What? To talk about this? I'll ask for an attorney down here.
It's an X.
Just to share with you and Carl.
Yeah, sure.
And he wants to know what the heck you call that.
Collective bargaining, discussions regarding collective bargaining agreement.
Okay. Did you hear that?
And we should probably keep in mind that
Yeah. But he was present at these two meetings.
Yep. You want me to?
You ready to go live, sir? He said yes.
Okay.
He's the boss.
He is.
Oh, maybe not. Hold on.
If you want to be really official, this is what you say. Collective negotiations pursuant to Article 14.
Can I just make a copy of that?
Basically, union contract negotiations.
Can I just make a copy of that?
She's making copies.
Oh, she did?
I'm ready, go ahead.
She's live, so we can go ahead.
Okay. Okay, great.
Finished before we started.
All right, well, good evening and welcome to the Village of Leominster Board meeting for May 8th, 2025. If you would stand with me for the pledge, please. Carl, you will lead.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. You may be seated.
Seated. Take your seats.
Seems like a bad place.
Could be.
All right, first item on our agenda tonight, as we often do, is time for public comment. And if there is anyone who would like to address the board this evening, come to the podium, which is very new and
Short.
cool logo on it, and address the board.
whatever. Good evening. My name is Bruce Winters. I live at 20 Dunning Avenue in the village. My background is I'm a pharmacist. I was a commissioned officer in the U.S. Public Health Service. I spent 2 years with the FDA. I moved to Rochester in the late 60s to work at the University of Rochester Medical Center. And then after that, I spent the rest of my time employed by Rochester Medical Group and Excellus Blue Cross Blue Shield. I've spoken before on the marijuana issue. And I'll save you all some boring time. This is basically some of the stuff that I've spoken to before, but I've added to it if you want to share that with people.
Thank you.
So I'll try to do this in a reasonable period of time. I'm 83 years old, so obviously I have typical memory, short memory impairment. So I have to put things in writing. First of all, did any of you listen last week to Evan Dawson's Connections? I believe it was on Wednesday. No, Evan had the gentleman, you know why I'm up here, the marijuana thing. Evan had the couple of people on his program last Wednesday, including, I tuned into it just after it had started, so I didn't catch the names, but somebody from the administration in Henrietta. I don't know, he was a supervisor or a mayor or whatever they have out there, but he was from Henrietta. And then there was another gentleman who finances retail cannabis associations and built businesses, including a lot of them in Buffalo. So he spoke about Buffalo too. And I'm sure the folks on the board, I was here last week, I actually missed, it wasn't until I tuned into the recording later that he puts on that I saw that he mentioned Henrietta and their $1 million income. And I'm sure that got y'all excited. But in this thing they pointed out, just as a matter of information, you can get this, it's a podcast, you can go and listen to it. But basically they pointed out that they don't have a lot of competition right now because a lot of the area communities have opted out. So they're drawing from their bulk of a lot of their business coming from Greece, Gates, all that area out there. Plus they've always had a big draw from the southern tier. They're also drawing people from Webster and other places that don't have. In Buffalo, where the opposite has happened, almost everything is opted in there. There are major problems now there are too many. People are going out of business, they're not doing well, it's a mess over there now. Let's see what else is here. In Buffalo, the stores are struggling because now the market is oversaturated with retail stores. The Henrietta town official is actually hoping that we won't opt in. He likes the business, I guess. If you read, also, I don't know if any of you read this was just on April 30th. Did any of you read the article on the front page of the Democrat and Chronicle about ER visits? This was on the D&C. You all knew about Henrietta though, didn't you? Well, anyway, in this, if you read this article, cannabis-related emergency room visits in New York rose nearly 57% in the initial 2 years after the state legalized adult use recreational marijuana in 2021. So there's a cost associated with this. So hospital costs, our health insurance costs. It's not for free that this is happening. I've given a number of articles over the past year or two since this started up with the discussion. I believe it was just last year. I've given a number of articles to the mayor. I gave an article to Trustee Lancy a while ago. I'm concerned, of course, from the point of view of mainly from the medical aspect of it. I also suggest that you check out the perspectives positions from the American Medical Association, the Academy of Pediatrics, and any of those groups. I think you need to look at the varying perspectives and not just how much revenue it would generate for Webster. If you read about the detrimental health effects, you can't, in good judgment, want to get in bed with this recreational cannabis quagmire. Supporting this debacle is ignoring medical, ethical, and moral implications simply for tax revenue. By the way, there's an old saying about that's sometimes misquoted. It's not money that's the root of all evil. It's the love of money that's the root of all evil. And that's what this is about when you want to have, but when you're bringing something in strictly because it's going to give you money. Most area towns and villages made the right ethical decision last year and opted out of the retail cannabis dispensaries. This resulted in only a few communities selling pot, with one being Henrietta. Henrietta is a large town that has a plethora of commercial areas and thus is in an enviable tax situation. When I moved to the Rochester area in the late 60s to work at U of R, I talked with people about places to buy a home, and one of the places they told me not to was Henrietta. Sorry, but that was what I was told. They said, don't look in Henrietta. They recommended Pittsford, Brighton, Webster, places like that. Now that the word is out about all the money they are making selling pot, Webster and other communities are going to be obviously a bit jealous. My comment on that is Henrietta is not a place to be jealous of, so don't emulate them unless that's what you want the town of Webster to become. The state has created a gambling empire accompanied by getting into the pot selling business, while openly acknowledging in the legislation that there are addiction perils. They put money aside to deal with that. They've essentially taken over the activities previously considered illegal when previously undertaken by the mafia. This is essentially what New York State has gotten into. It's gotten into the line of business that used to be the exclusivity of the mafia. Think about that. The bottom line is the state has embarked on a mission to addict the public to these vices in order to feed their addiction to tax and spending. So what is my overriding concern? Ask yourself what any of these sources of revenue do to enhance the moral fiber of our citizenry. And what is the socially redeeming value of these state-sanctioned endeavors? In addition, most workers, well, you can read that, it's in your thing. I just believe that the state should be ashamed of itself for promoting these negative lifestyle behaviors. They should be playing a role similar to that of a protected big brother to its residents, not an enabler of bad behavior. The state needs to get its priorities in order. Now, I just have a couple of other things I want to comment on here. I have some little photos that I took for myself. They're all in public. They're from either the Wall Street Journal, which I subscribe to, along with the Democrat and Chronicle. I'll just give you some headlines. This one is from the Wall Street Journal. Title is Potent Form of Cannabis Ravages Teens. And by the way, I hope you folks understand, the marijuana that's being sold today and produced today is not the marijuana your uncle was smoking at Woodstock. This stuff is much more potent. And it says here, health officials warn of heated extracts that are ruining lives and gaining popularity. So people are taking this stuff and playing games with it so that they can get a higher high out of it. Marijuana can lead to drowsiness, which causes the risk of falls. Labs clear pot for sale despite, this is out of the Wall Street Journal. Labs clear pot for sale despite a contaminant. So these things are being approved for use, but they're not even seem to be concerned about the contaminants that are in there. And forget whether they're toxic contaminants or not. Well, one of the bad things we know about smoking in general, cigarettes, is the particulate matter that we inhale into our lungs. That causes problems. And marijuana is no different. It's more particulate matter. Researchers study effect of pot use on pregnancy. This is in the Democrat and Chronicle last November. Children of mothers who ingested cannabis while pregnant are at a higher risk for problematic behaviors. Nationwide children's hospital researchers found, and it goes on and talks about some of them. Here's some risks associated. Impaired judgment, attention span and coordination, raising the risk of car accidents, falls, injuries, long-term effects, can also lead to significant mental health issues and addiction. And the THC can cause some people to experience short-term psychosis, anxiety, and elevated heart rate. That was just May 7th, a couple days ago. There's also another one here, real quickly. It says, the rise and fall of Napa Valley of cannabis. This is in Colorado. Pueblo, Colorado had high hopes for legal marijuana boom, but is facing fallout from an industry and collapse. So the bottom line is, yes, a few places make some good money off this, but the rest of the story is pretty sad. And I just think that we shouldn't have any part of that. It's bad business, going to give you some revenue, but it's bad business, and I don't know, I just think that Webster's, I hope, a step above what so many other communities have done, which is, I believe, a serious mistake. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce.
Thanks, Bruce.
Anyone else? If not, I will close the public comment portion of our meeting.
Yeah. Heard it on, he's referring to the town supervisor, talking about the radio. Let's bring it to this.
Okay, well, we will move now to regular board business, resolution to approve the minutes from April 24th.
Yeah, I'll make that one.
Second it.
Trustee Lancy?
Aye.
Trustee Lauer?
Aye.
Trustee Alito?
Aye.
Mayor Byers?
I was absent, and I did not listen.
You can still vote on it, it's okay. Yes.
I will abstain.
Okay.
All right. Next, we have approval of claims and warrants.
I just finished with them, and they look good to me.
Thank you, Carl.
So I'll make
It
a
doesn't seem like you're a better man.
Oh, that was pretty light.
Yeah, we had the bigger one the one before.
I'll make a motion
I'll
to
second it.
approve the claims and warrants.
I'll second it.
Trustee Lauer?
Aye.
Trustee Alito?
Aye.
Trustee Lancy?
Aye.
Mayor Byers?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Next, we have a resolution to authorize the establishing of the sewer equipment reserve account. This is to establish a capital reserve fund, which its purpose would be to finance a type of capital improvement. And this is pursuant to Section 6C of the General Municipal Law, and it would authorize the Chief Physical Officer of the Village of Webster to deposit and secure monies for this reserve fund in the manner provided by Section 10 of the General Municipal Law. We have had a great discussion, I think, about this. We talked about it in terms of the budget, and it was decided that we needed to set up this reserve account. Except as otherwise provided by law, expenditures from the reserve fund shall be made only for the purpose for which the reserve fund is established, and no expenditure shall be made from this account without the approval of the governing board, and such additional actions or proceedings as may be required by Section 6C of the General Municipal Law or any other law, including permissive referendum if required by subdivision 4, section 6C, again, of the general municipal law. So I would ask for a motion to approve this resolution and establish this general capital reserve fund for the sewer.
How much is it?
Pardon?
How much?
You're setting
It
it,
would be an ongoing,
you're setting it up.
we're just
Okay,
setting it
yeah.
up.
Okay.
Okay.
You already paid, in the budget, there
Yeah.
was
I think,
800,000? What was the number? I forget.
I
I thought it was 100 and some thousand.
Whatever.
No, it wasn't more, it was more than that.
Way more.
than
I
that?
think so,
Okay.
Whatever it
Was
was,
it
Carol,
five?
you already approved it.
right.
Yeah.
So this is just to put
I
it
can
in
get that
there.
information for you, but yes,
I'm
it's
just
just to set
over
it
it,
up.
yeah.
But this is, I mean, we're looking to put in
It
every
was
year money into this account, so we're establishing the account. so
That's
that
good.
it's Something that we can
Yeah.
deposit into.
Can't put the money in until you establish the reserve.
There.
But you did vote on it.
Yeah,
I did, and the money actually won't show up till the village tax bills go out and you collect money, you know?
there you go.
So,
Okay.
But this is something so that we can get ahead of the game and we
Exactly.
don't have to go, pull that.
Remember that it was a good idea.
Yeah,
It was a good idea.
I agree.
Yeah.
Should have been done a while.
Okay,
Yeah.
Correct.
so,
Sure.
I just need a second, because we have moved.
I'll second that.
You motioned, you moved?
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
I'll second it.
Okay.
I'll make their motion.
Oh my goodness, trustee Apolito,
Aye.
Mayor Byers.
Aye.
Okay, I'm just gonna go down here. Trustee Lauer,
Aye.
trustee Lancy.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Yes, it is a good idea because we have had to go and borrow a lot of this.
Yes.
Having it available, I think will save us
Great.
interest costs.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, next we have a resolution to authorize the changing of June 19th meeting of the zoning board of appeals to June 17th due to a federal holiday. I would ask for a motion to approve this change.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Trustee Lancy,
Aye.
trustee Lauer,
Aye.
trustee Apolito,
Aye.
Mayor Byers.
Aye.
Motion passes.
I'd like to announce that the serial bond interest and principal payment for a bond established in 2012 will be made in the amount of $1,350 on or about the date of May 12th, 2025.
Okay.
All right, guess, John, I would ask if you have anything that you would like to bring to the attention of the board.
nothing other than I will not be here for the next meeting.
Oh, what are you gonna be doing there?
I'll be in Hilton Head.
Nice.
I've been there. It's very nice.
Yeah. Enjoy.
Played a lot of golf there.
And
I've
Casey
been-
Island is right near, I've been there too.
Tybee,
so, yeah.
yes. Well, my dad says,
Enjoy.
have a good time.
Thank you.
I'm sure you will.
Will it be a substitute for your absence in case Carl says so, we need legal advice?
I'll deputize Jake.
Oh, boy, oh, that's good. Oh, that's really good.
No,
He
no.
does love saying he's not the attorney.
I
Wow,
just heard that would
hey.
take my credit.
He didn't authorize you, Don, to speak for DPW sewer or
No, he
anything new?
didn't.
Okay.
And Chris isn't here, so.
Yeah, right, okay. What do we have from the front office?
We do have, so next meeting, we will have a presentation from Lynn Barton, our village historian, in recognition of Historic Preservation Month. And they have written a proclamation for them to read, and they'll do a little presentation on what she's been up to, so she'll be here at the next meeting.
Good.
And then secondly, we have finally made the transition to move to AYS, the other technology IT company. Don's helping us with a few hiccups, but we're feeling hopeful that we'll have a successful outcome. But so far, yeah. And so the bill should start to go down, hopefully.
Good.
Not yet. We still have another month with LMT, but we just had our last site visit with them and it was great.
Great.
It was. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, I would like to ask the board for a resolution to go into collective, into a executive session for the discussion regarding collective bargaining pursuant to Article 14 of the Civil Service Law.
You just came up with that?
So,
I'll make it.
make the motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And I would ask that the camera be turned on.
Over at the museum.
Take a look at
What are you going to do?
Ron's article.
Do they have a museum out
Ron
there?
has one?
I don't know, I gotta find out. There's,
I'll have a look at it.
All right,
you know, there's like
it's down
four
in-
houses out
down
there,
in
the
the
deer slough with the
village,
front yard.
Nice.
It's gonna be.
He does?
Oh, yeah.
What do you
But
say?
the grandkids
He's
are.
probably angry about the comp plan.
Really did it.
Yeah, the comprehensive plan, we're not there
And
to
she's
help,
going for a doctorate
you know.
in Bend.
Actually, we
Actually,
just,
we're-
we
Yeah,
had
we
that
have-
discussion.
We have an update, you should tell them.
Well,
What
there's
happened
physical
after?
therapy, but she was, because she did all the sports and stuff.
Back
My
in
son.
22,
I was the sample on
we said to everybody, or we said,
raising
the
two
village
daughters.
will
They were
provide,
He had a 5-year full
and the
scholarship.
town can provide a
So
person
nobody
to
can
deal
tell me.
specifically with the interaction
Well,
between town
that's
and
what,
village.
this is the kind of stuff
Yes.
I'm gonna miss.
And I came with
Sitting on a
Winding
hill,
down
and
to say to us, this is what you should do in the village,
crazy.
in terms of how we interact at the boundaries and what goes on there. And, yeah.
and
Well,
they
read Ron's article.
didn't invite us.
I know they didn't invite us.
Well, that, I think, if you recall, the supervisor approached this board before they even started, and they offered,
Yes.
he offered to have a joint master plan between the town and the village. And you guys said, no, we want our own.
But in the joint.
Don't say we, as I think.
What's this?
Yeah.
It was-
But Don, in the
Not
joint
we.
meetings, they came up with an agreement
Because it
saying
should've
we would
been
each
joint.
have a liaison on the different ones, because we have the minutes from their joint meetings, and he forgot.
It just, it doesn't make sense that
I
we
think he
didn't do
said,
it
you know,
jointly.
liaison,
You guys
when they were talking about
because you're
parts of the town that are
dissolving
adjacent to the
village.
village.
That's not gonna happen.
Well,
It's
So
your
why do you need a
community
village
issue.
liaison for what's going on in West Webster off of Dewitt Road?
I know,
Well, and we're gonna have a town one in the village, I don't
We
know.
should've
I'm just
done-
saying, that
we
was what
should've
was
done
agreed,
more.
and they,
100%.
he backed that. Big time.
You gotta stop helping the segregation by making comments.
honestly, I
Just,
know.
should have been one.
And I would agree to, I'm a town person, and he would be a part of the board, or a part of that comprehensive plan, how it interacted. with
I just remember all my discussions.
Well,
when my
and at
Uncle
this
Pete
point,
was mayor.
I would just like to make a motion to adjourn.
It's new.
Okay, I second it.
She can't do that.
Oh, darn
I
it.
second that motion.
She can't second it.
I'll second it.
You'll second it?
Well,
Well, what
I'll
if
second
Judy
it.
wanted a second?
Yeah,
I'll give it to
just
Judy.
do it.
I'll give it to
I
Judy.
don't know who did it.
Aye.
Yay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the next meeting will be Thursday, May 22nd.
Don will be here.
We'll be missing our,
That'd
hey,
be fun.
you know what, we've done
And I
Andrew.
probably won't even watch it on Facebook.
I'll bet you won't.
That is true.
May I have
Oh, I have an announcement.
5